Be bothered to do the things you love. It's Grateful Monday and a warning from Simon Cowell.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Hello, and welcome to a Monday. It is August 10th, 2020, day 303 of Gotta Get on Ellen. It is Grateful Monday, you all. That's right. I did my y'all a little Philly style. Y'all, you all, use. It's Grateful Monday, use. That's Philly style. Grateful Monday, the day when I read a couple of entries from my own personal gratitude journal from the past week to demonstrate how easy and how simple it is to keep a gratitude journal and to find things in your daily life to be grateful for. So one of the things I was grateful for last week, after my speech the week before, I had promised to send a follow-up email with some of the things I had discussed to all of the attendees. So I was able to get that done and sent out. We had a bit of a storm here. I believe I talked about it. We lost power for about 12 hours, so I went over to my friend Cheryl's driveway to charge my phone, and we hung out in her driveway and had a couple of adult beverages while we were waiting for my phone to charge. Tucker, it was her birthday last week. I gave her a birthday monkey, and she really seems to enjoy it. Posted a little video of it on the Hopefulist group page if you are so inclined to take a look. She's so cute. And so is the monkey. The one day this week I was sitting out on the dock catching some rays. And I was watching the ducks, and they were just doing this little thing with the diving in the water and then flipping their little wings. And I guess they're bathing. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was just a nice little scene to take in. And something I haven't mentioned in a while that I love. I am so grateful for blueberry coffee. That's right. I make it myself, but Wawa now has a version of blueberry coffee that you can get whenever you so choose. And I do encourage you to try it because it is delicious. Yeah, trust me on this one. So we had a big gathering. Well, not a big gathering. We had a gathering for Joe's birthday over the weekend. I would call it a success. We made some ribs. We made some chicken. My girlfriend brought over some orzo salad, which was pretty cool. Joe made a corn salad, which I had never had before. And I made my famous corn casserole. Lots of corn. There was a lot of corn to choose from. And we had lots of appetizers and snacks. And I got him a birthday cake. And yeah, it was a lot of work because I got all these decorations that Joe knew that we were having people over. It was not like a surprise party by any means. But I had made up these little skewers of, what did I put on? Some tomatoes, some mozzarella, some artichokes, some tortellini. These skewers took forever to put together. I was just like, I had no idea how time consuming it was. It put me so far behind my schedule that by the time the first guest got here, I had just gotten out of the shower, and I'm like, oh my God, I need help. I didn't put up any of the decorations yet. Please help me. And then at one point, I just threw a banner at Joe. I said, I'm sorry, babe. Can you hang your own banner, please? Running behind. So I was talking to my girlfriend about how long the skewers took. And she said, yeah, we were talking about, what to include on them to add on to the skewer. And she said, I before we've put some sort of meat on it, like, salami, what have you. She's like, next time. I'm like, oh, no, there won't be a next time. I will not be making these again. They were good, but yeah, very time consuming. Oh my gosh. So I I also made my famous spinach dip, which did not turn out great. I'm not sure what happened this time around, but, we had some friends over and a ton of birthday wishes for the big guy that turned the big 5-0. So we are grateful for all of our friends and all of those who sent well wishes. It was a very nice day, a very nice weekend. We had to move all the furniture out of the porch area and rearrange the deck so that there was enough seating for everybody. So, you had to move all the furniture on Saturday, and then we moved everything back on Sunday. So we're tired. Poor Joe has to work 12-hour day today, the poor thing. But yeah, all that work, it's tiring. I kept telling Joe, no more parties, no more parties. He knows by now I don't mean that because I love parties. I love having people over. I love entertaining. But man, it is a lot of work. But well worth it, which we will get into a little later on when we talk about the blog post. Simon Cowell has a warning. He wants everybody to know you probably should read the instructions on how to operate an electric bike when and if you get one. He decided to put out this warning after falling off his brand new electric bike and breaking his back. Yes. He had surgery. He's on the mend. Obviously on the mend enough to give out this warning. So there you go. Something to keep in mind on this Monday morning. I'm not really sure of the purpose of an electric bike. I thought that maybe, that's part of the bike riding experience is the fact that you pedal. I know that the electric bike is not it's not like a scooter. You still have to push the pedals around, but they do make it a lot easier for you. I guess it's great for people who just need it as a mode of transportation as opposed to, taking the car. I ride it for recreational purposes, so it doesn't make a lot of sense for me. I have no intention of getting one, so I don't have to worry about this. And some other disturbing news, Rachel Ray, the Rachel Ray Show, her house caught on fire overnight, her house in the Adirondacks. We don't know what happened, but she had been hosting a lot of her talk show from the house during the pandemic. So I guess more information to come, but her and her husband and her dog, they're all safe. So that is the good news. I don't know. Seems kind of crazy. I thought maybe if it was in California, but, because they have those wildfires out there. But this seems to be an isolated incident. Just the one area, just the one house, that is. So we'll see. Yesterday was National Book Lovers Day. So I wanted to hear from you. What is a book that you read more than once? Because to me, that would definitely show that it was one of your favorites. So Patty says, Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. I never read that. I did read East of Eden, which I did enjoy very much. It's one of those books, though, and I say this a lot about the classics. They're very tough reads. They're very hard to get through. And you often want to quit because it's just a kind of a struggle to understand what's going on. For me personally, I find this with Jane Austen books and East of Eden. I found that. I won't even get into Tolstoy. I mean, took me years to read some of his books, but then they're well worth it. Like once the story's over, you're like, wow, what a great story. What a great story. And I felt that way about East of Eden. Lisa says To Kill a Mockingbird. I have read that one. I believe only once. Megan says Gone with the Wind. I don't even know how many times I've read it. Yeah, I've gotten that down 2 times so far. The first time I read that book was 2014. So I've read it twice in the last 6 years. So being that it's over 1,000 pages, that's pretty, that's not so bad. Laurie says, I can't think of any book I've read more than once. I don't watch movies more than once either. I cannot remember a movie unless I watch it more than once. I don't do that nearly as much as I used to. I used to watch movies over and over and over again. But I really do like to watch certain movies over and over again. But yeah, I kind of have given up on, I just don't watch as much television as I used to, I think is really what the issue comes down to. Denise says a book called Replay. Now, Denise is in my book club, and this is an older book, and this is her favorite book of all time. And I believe it's out of print because she chose it for our book club, and she even supplied us copies because she knew it would be very difficult for us to find. And it was a very interesting book, a little science fiction, so to speak. Jennifer says the Janet Ivanovich number books. They are easy reads and really funny. She says they take place in Trenton. She even talks about a real Trenton police officer who my dad used to work with. It's about a bounty hunter who is a real screw-up, and apparently she also dates a Trenton cop. I definitely have heard of her, so I will check those out. Marcy says The Great Gatsby, another book I just read recently. I think I just read that in the last couple of years. Jim says, that's easy because once I read a book, I usually won't read it again, but I have read 2 books more than once. Wise Guys, the book Goodfellas was based on, and Coal Miner's Daughter, because I just love the way Loretta Lynn writes the way she talks. I'm going to have to borrow that from him, I think, because I have not read that. And I was a big fan of the movie Coal Miner's Daughter. That was one of those movies that just came on TV over and over and over again. And we watched it all the time. All the time. Kathy says Stephen King's The Stand. I don't read Stephen King. He's too scary for me. Lisa says all the Harry Potter books. Nerdy. Yes, I know. Oh, you know what? I didn't read the books, but I was obsessed with the movies. I can't even tell you how many times I saw the first one, saw the second one, a lot too, not as much as the first one. And I did kind of drop off at some point. I don't think I've ever finished watching all of the movies. I kind of just lost interest for some reason. But there are some of your favorite books. I don't read a lot of books 2 times through. Often I will try to start rereading a book, and then I lose interest in it right away. I guess just because I know it's going to happen. But I have read Gone with the Wind twice from start to finish. I know I attempted to reread East of Eden, and I gave up on that. And I also attempted... what is the name of that book? Charlotte Bronte? About the girl? What's the name of that book? Charlotte Bronte. Is it Charlotte? Those Bronte sisters always get me. Let me see. Let me ask the Google, because the Google knows everything. All right. Charlotte Bronte. Oh my God. Do I have it right? Oh. Jane Eyre. Thank you. Thank you, Google. Yes, that's it. I attempted to start reading Jane Eyre again because I really loved that book. I won't attempt to read any of the Jane Austen books again, like I said, because they are just really hard to comprehend. But again, one of those things I've thought about reading Persuasion again because I really, really love that story. I've read Defending Jacob twice because I read it years ago. Actually, I think I've read that 3 times. I think I may have read it 3 times because I read it when it first came out years ago, and then I recommended it to one of my book clubs, and I reread it then, and I think I may have reread it right before I watched the series on Apple. If you've not seen the series, it's really good. Really good. They change a lot from the book, though. It's typical. People, they do this all the time. I'm not really sure. Other than that, nothing else is really popping out at me. I would like to reread A Gentleman in Moscow one of these days. That was an amazing book. I have recommended it to so many people, and most of the people I have recommended it to do not like it. This is a book where you either love it or you hate it. It seems there is no in between, and there seems to be just as many people who hated it as loved it. So it's very odd. But that's a big book as well. It's about 550 pages. I'm talking about novels here, of course, because I have reread my personal development and self-help books numerous times. but I've also made a lot of notes in those as well. So I read a really silly book over the weekend. It was called The Favorite Daughter. And you could tell there was just something wrong with this woman. And I was even saying, like, my neighbor said, she's like, what are you reading right now? I'm like, oh, it's just stupid. It's just stupid. But I can't seem to put it down. So, but then at the end, they were talking about a note from the author. She was talking about narcissistic parents and what they put their children through. And I thought, my gosh, that's so, it's, something right up my alley. It's something that I really appreciated reading about. So I hung in there, finished the book. Probably on some level, the universe was saying there's a message at the end that I think is really important for you. And honestly, I typically don't even read the author's notes. So I think that this was a message that I needed to receive. But books, yeah, I love books, love reading books. I may start trying to write a book soon. That's right. Stay tuned. We shall see. But yeah, books. I don't know what I would do. My life would be so different without books. Today's blog post, I'm going to talk about scheduling the fun, like reading books. Make time for your favorite things. When it comes to living with intention, we need to schedule the things we love into our lives. That's right. Schedule them. We tend to write down all the things we need to do. Get to the dry cleaners, grocery shopping, cleaning the house, especially deadlines and things we need to do for work. We even schedule our vacations, the time when we look forward to unplugging and doing our very favorite things. Why is it we don't take the time to schedule things we love on a daily basis? Why do we feel it's indulgent to do something daily that we enjoy, but it's okay to spend a massive amount of time and money on a vacation? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Shouldn't we be putting more in time and money into the things we can enjoy every day rather than 1 week a year? It's usually such small things that bring real joy into our lives on a regular basis. And that is why it's even more baffling that we don't make more time for it. It's truly the smallest things that make up a great day. Your favorite coffee, lighting a scented candle, sitting outside, reading a book, taking in nature, running a warm bath. We often brush these things off because we consider them frivolous. How did we get this idea that enjoying life is frivolous? We need to make more time for the things we love and not feel guilty about it. If people judge you for wanting to live a happy life, let them. I have learned over the years that people will judge you no matter what you do, so may as well do what makes you happiest. Make sure you have time to do those things. Even if we do have time, we often don't indulge in our favorite things. Sometimes the things we want to do seem like a lot of trouble. I point to a warm bath as my favorite example. It's a pain. You have to fill the tub. You have to wait for it. You find the right temperature, dig out the bath salts, and slide in slowly to adjust to the water. But what would you be doing instead? Watching TV? I know a lot of people like to watch TV to unwind, but I'm pretty sure a warm bath is more relaxing. I've talked before about how much I love to float in the lagoon outside my house. I sit in a big inner tube and just float while the boats go by. It is amazing. But I do have to get the ladder. I got to tie up the float. It's usually, quite the funny sight trying to watch me get into that tube gracefully because it can't be done. It's a little bit of trouble, so worth it. Same thing with getting my kayak out into the water, getting all the things ready that I need to do for that. But I get out into the open bay, and it's just wonderful. Sometimes when I float, I just let my thoughts wander, or I focus on how relaxed I am. Sometimes I just take in my surroundings and count my blessings. I did that yesterday. Sat there for a while, just looked around, looked at my house. I was like, wow, I get to live here. So lucky. So make sure that you are taking in the things that you love. Focus on them. Often we can't be bothered to do our favorite things because we deem them too much trouble, right? Be bothered. That was my mantra for a while. Once I realized I didn't do many things because I labeled them more trouble than they're worth. It's not usually true. It's always worth the trouble it takes to do the things we love. We just need to make the time for them and go through the trouble. Think about some of your favorite things to do. I bet they all have some degree of work to get to the actual task. Do you love going to live sporting events and concerts? Okay, me too. Let's go through the process. First, you have to get the tickets. That's usually a pain in the butt just in itself. Then you have to make plans to get there. Time your day out accordingly. Then you have to park, walk to the venue. Then you pay ridiculous prices for foods and drinks. And then we wait. Yeah. Seems like a lot of trouble, right? But you don't typically think of it like that. The same with doing your favorite activities. Do you like to fish? Gather up all that tackle, get your rods, get the bait, then get to your favorite waterway and sit and wait. Do you like skiing? I won't even go into how much trouble that seems. Yet people do it all the time. Most things worthwhile will be a little trouble in order to get to the main event. If you just like to listen to music, light candles, or sit out in your yard, you are way ahead the most. Take the time to do the simple things that you enjoy and the not so simple things that you enjoy. Can you commit to writing down one thing a day that you enjoy and schedule it into your day? Can be anything as long as it brings you joy. I've mentioned many times how much I love the body scrub I use in the shower every day. That counts. The simpler, the better. Make time for the big things as well, because the people who enjoy life most take the time to do the things they enjoy. We know this, but yet we don't often follow it. Start now. Do something you love today. Oh, it is Monday. It is my favorite day of the week after Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A brand new week full of possibilities and opportunities. Now I want you to go make the most of them and be your badass self. You know I'm cheering you on.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.
You are a badass.